does that even mean, Bowers Game Corner?
Hey there, YouTube. I'm back again today for another boxing video where I put a bunch of stuff back into a box. But before I do that, I tell you about all the stuff. Today we're going to be talking about For Glory, the Champions expansion, which is the expansion to the absolutely fantastic two-player deck builder, For Glory. But now the big catch is it goes 1 to 4 players. Which is really super cool, ages 14 plus. So I'm going to be showing you a pretty in-depth look at all the things you're going to get inside of this upcoming expansion. Now, before we get into this, this is the prototype I have in front of me, even though, as you can see, it looks really dang close to being done. But just so you know, there might be a couple extra cards that come in here if they do stretch goals or something like that. I don't know. So first thing I want to spotlight is this right here. I think it's super cool. 2 rule booklets. First one. Read if this is your first game of For Glory. It has 3 or 4 players. So if you've never played the game before, you're just getting it, you get the expansion, you got to play 3 to 4 players. Boom, this is what you want to get. Awesome. This is solo mode and 3 to 4 player mode. Read this for solo and 3 to 4 player rules if you already know the 2-player rules. And I want this to be the industry standard. Please, 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 can we start doing this for expansions? This is great, especially when you add player counts. So huge kudos right there. So in front of you, we've got everything that comes new in this expansion. So the first thing, we'll get some of the boring stuff out of the way. These are the starter cards for the 3rd and 4th player. And golly, don't you just love how they mark that right there? Actually, that's, yeah, that one should be in this pile. Yeah, but you get it. You're going to get 14 starter cards for the 3rd and 4th player, so you can easily sort those out. Delightful. Some other stuff you're going to get are boast cards, which if you're familiar with the original game, you'll know exactly what those are, but they also have labeled them in the bottom right with what player count they use them for, which once again, nice little things like this that I absolutely adore. Just show me a level of polish that I love. We got coins. You haven't seen these coins, they're really nice. Get over it. Get over it. Yeah, they're super nice coins. But you're going to get more coins because you're going to have more players. Makes sense. Back in the box. We know that. Now, next you're going to have these player boards right here. Now, the player boards, I do want to mention that my player board actually has a big misprint on it, which I'll show you in a second. But in case you want to see the old player boards, right hand, versus the new player boards, the only real difference that I saw was that there's a spot for glory tokens is now gone because the win condition is slightly different. And that's it. Now, the big thing that I do want to mention about the newer ones is that on the back, at least I think because you might say, oh, what's the difference between this side to this side? They look the exact same. That's because I'm pretty sure they are the exact same. I think what he was saying is this one actually is for 1 player, though, if you're playing it solo. And this is supposed to have all the different terminology that you'll see on the solo Autonoma cards, which in this game they call the Ludus Magnus cards. And this is a massive stack. It's 107 cards, I do believe, with variable difficulty. You'll see that some of them have the 3 stars and some will have 1 star. So you are going to be able to mess with the difficulty a little bit. But essentially, these are the cards that you're going to draw because the solo game is a 1v1 for the other person. So, but if you want to see what those are, machinations, combat, reaction, and what should be nice, though, eventually, is that all that terminology should be right here when it gets to you. So for us pioneers who do Kickstarter videos, I'm going to have to use a PDF, but we'll get by day by day. Now, let's get to some more interesting stuff right here. These, I believe, are called glory tokens or blessing tokens, but these are going to be a new type of currency, and these are really nice wooden components, by the way. And if you haven't checked out the premium edition of it, they did a good job on that, so I'm excited to see what this Kickstarter looks like. But yeah, these are going to be things that will go on to Gladiators. These are a new feature in the game. There's 2 new features, these tokens, and then the 5 new champions, which we'll talk about in a second. But these are going to go on to various different cards, and generally, they're either going to trigger an ability on the card, which I'll show you when we go in-depth on these champions over here, or you can take it off to block incoming damage. So I'm very interested to see how that works. I haven't actually gotten a chance to get this one to the table, hopefully playing it solo soon. But I wonder if that's going to stretch out the game, having those tokens. I'm not sure. So those are the tokens. They're nice. They're cool. You see them. You're also going to have some of these new cards right here for different arenas, which are going to have a whole bunch of new different special abilities. So if you want to go through some of those, we'll go through a couple. So this is a reaction. When a reaction ability on a gladiator you own triggers, you may pay 1 coin to trigger that ability. Again, oh my God, that is insanely powerful. Like, imagine if this comes out right at the beginning. Like, that is, whoo, that's one you're going to be fighting over hard. When a reaction ability on a gladiator, you own triggers, you may, oh yeah, so here we go. Reaction, when damage is assigned, you may discard 1 card to prevent 1 damage to a target gladiator, limit once per reaction window. Okay. Tactics. Exhaust El Dejim, this card, to deal 2 unpreventable damage to a target gladiator. That is so big. And I love it. So many of these cards just feel like big cards. Tactic. Exhaust this card to ready all gladiators in this active arena, then end this turn and redetermine initiative. Whoa! So these are game changers. So you're going to mix these in, shuffle them in, and it's just going to add more variability, more excitement, more different, unique quirks to the game. Don't sleep on that. Don't sleep on that. A lot of people are going to focus on everything else. That's big. All right. If you couldn't tell, this is one of my favorite two-player games that I've played in quite some time. So next we have these. We'll save the champions for last, but these are just going to be new cards that you're going to mix into the 3 Byros, which I don't remember what they're called, but this one generally deals with people and money, gladiators, and then this one is the tactics, I think it is. So what I've done is just spotlighted the new cards. The rest of these are just duplicates of those cards. I think you get about 3 or 2 of each card that I saw in here. I think for the gladiators, it's 3. So ready up to 2 target patrons. That could be big. That could be big. Deal 1 damage to a target gladiator, or when damage is assigned, prevent 1 damage to a target gladiator. I like that. I love these not as powerful cards, but these dual use cards. Love those. Tactic, move 1 damage from a target gladiator to another target gladiator. Interesting. Interesting. That could be big as well. Place a blessing on a target gladiator, which once again, these tokens. Favor of the gods. Look, it works thematically. Deal 1 damage to each of up to 4 gladiators of mayhem. Okay. Cool. So let's move on to the gladiators. I'm going to take a quick drink. Look at the artwork. It's oh so pretty. For Volantis. And once again, tons of new gladiators here. Like, that's awesome. And that's not even counting the champions, which we're going to get to. When Volantis is assigned damage, you may place a blessing on another target gladiator. Cool. So he's a little bit like a healer. Aatrox, damage dealt by Aatrox is unpreventable. Wow. Wow. That is, but he is weak. He's a weak one. But you load him up with some of these and bada boom, you got yourself a monster. Loving it. Reaction, when attack damage dealt by Mordrax defeats a gladiator, deal 2 damage to a target gladiator. Wow, you get a... That's pretty good. When damage is assigned, you may reassign 1 damage to a gladiator you own. Limit once per reaction window. Spartacus. When Spartacus enters an arena, Spartacus gains the text of a target gladiator. You may select a new target at the beginning of each of your combat turns. Wow, that is a really interesting card. I could see that one leading some AP with some people. But man, that is a heck of a card. Place a blessing on a target gladiator that doesn't have any blessings on it. Okay. And then I think, yep, Volantis. You may reserve Volantis. You may play Volantis as a reaction when damage is assigned. When Volantis enters an arena, prevent 1 damage to a target gladiator. So it's a dude that runs out of nowhere pretty much and takes the damage. Interesting. That's a really... Okay. So I think that's all of them. I don't know. Oh, no. This isn't all of them. When Periska is exhausted, other gladiators you own gain +1 strength. Wow. So she's like a martyr. When Quirinius attacks, you may exhaust any number of other gladiators you own. For each gladiator exhausted, Quirinius gains +3 damage until the end of the combat turn. Are you kidding me? So if you have a bunch of cheapies out there with her, she could just blast. Actually, they should just blast. I can't tell. Oh, so what do we got? Last one. The money one. Reactions. When you use a tactic, you may pay 2 coins to place a gladiator. When Mercator enters your villa, gain 4 coin tokens. Place a target card from your discard pile on top of your deck. And now I'm not, golly, I'm in that mode where it's like, okay, so I think that is a guy because you can see the nipples. But then again, I don't know what you're supposed to do there. Like, if you're not sure, you're just supposed to assume and say they. Like, I don't know. I should probably look into that. Place a target card from your discard pile on top of your deck. And that's so weird. That's a thought that would not have been in my mind 6 years ago, which just shows you how far we've come, in board games, like to make people feel inclusive, which I love. I love that. Because the more people play board games, the bigger board games get. The more board games come out, the more they get popular, and the more, your boy makes money. Because I'm going to wait it out. I'm going to be there when the board games blow up. But anyway, back to Consult the Ogre. That just took a totally left turn. I do apologize. Place a target card from your discard pile on top of your deck. $5, $3, $4. Place a target card for the... Oh, that one's back in there. Buy up to 2 patrons from their supply, paying their coin costs, and play them directly into your villa. Okay. So we got some good ones there. Some good ones. Some solid ones. But now, let's get to the champions. This is what everybody wants to see. Let's go. Get out of here. Probably shouldn't have mixed those up, but I don't care. So, champions. Here's how this works. You're most likely going to want to play with them every single time. Let's just be blunt, honest here. Because it is a module, but essentially what's going to happen is, at the beginning of the game, you're going to get one of these gladiators. And they start off, you know, just looking like a regular gladiator. So I got Flamma. I put this into my pile. So now we have 15 cards in a pile. And this goes off to the side. Now what happens is eventually I will draw my gladiator, and I can either play them like a regular gladiator, or I can pay the cost, which in this case would be 2, 3, 4, and then 5, to upgrade my gladiator, which means there's going to be some people who just have super powerful gladiators and some people who decide not to focus on that, and that just makes an interesting aspect to the game. But let's get into their special abilities. So Flamma. Flamma enters the arena with 1 blessing on it. Nice. And then a tactic. Remove a blessing from a target gladiator you own to play a tactic card from your discard pile. Place that card on the bottom of your deck. Wow. That's pretty nice. Okay, now let's see what happens. Upgrade them. Flamma enters the arena with 2 blessing tokens on it. So yeah, 3 blessing tokens, 4 blessing tokens. So they're going to become just harder and harder and harder to kill. Remove a blessing from a target gladiator you own to play a tactic card from your discard pile. Place that card on the bottom of your deck. Okay. And then remove a blessing from a target gladiator you own to play a tactic card from your discard pile and place the card on the bottom of your deck. Okay, so I'm glad they're not upgrading that. Because I was going to say, this was getting, like, super powerful. Like, I really am very curious to see what the play length is going to be with all these blessing tokens. Because they block out all the damage, it seems like. Flamma enters the arena with 4 blessings on it. Remove a blessing from a target gladiator you own to play a tactic card from the discard. Okay. All right. Simple enough. I don't think I'd want Flamma. Well, you know, I kind of would. It'd be nice. It's not the fun move, though. I want to do something sneaky. Let's see. Hopefully one of these is sneaky. I hope Mevia is sneaky. Mevia may attack as a second attack on a combat turn in which another gladiator has attacked. Mevia may attack. Oh, wow. So she could do like a 1-2 punch. Yeah, I like Mevia. Because then, if you have Mevia, they're just like constantly like wondering, when's it going to come? When's it come? It's just an added little extra quirk in the game. In that specific game, because you have Mevia, and I imagine that if this expansion does well, you're going to see a lot more of these champions, because this is a really cool idea. On a combat in which maybe we've even had 2 champions. Whoa! In a combat... okay, I got distracted. Mevia may attack as a second attack on a combat turn in which another gladiator has attacked. Mevia may attack as a second attack. Okay. Oh, why am I reading that over and over again? My brain just went out of this world. You may attack with 2 gladiators on each of your combat's turn. You may attack with 2 gladiators or use 2 tactics on each of your combat turns. You may attack with 2 gladiators and use 2 tactics on each of your combat turns. Wow. Wow. Okay. Tetrotades. Reaction. When Tetrotades becomes exhausted... You may pay 5 coins to place a face-up gladiator from the supply into the active arena. Maui wowie! And that price gets cheaper to 3. When Texture Complex exhausted, you may play a face-up gladiator supply into the active arena. So also at this point, it's just free. And then holy moly, what's more powerful than that? When Tetrotati becomes exhausted, you may play a face-up gladiator from the supply into the active arena. That gladiator may attack this turn as an extra attack. Wowers, Mousers. That's the card I want. I want to start with Tetrotades when I first play. That was awesome. Reaction. When damage is assigned to Bellicus, deal 1 damage to a target gladiator. Okay. Spikes it back out. Deal 2 damage to a target gladiator. Wow, that's nice. When damage is assigned to Bellicus, deal 3 damage to a target gladiator. Holy moly. And when damage is assigned to Bellicus, deal 4 damage to a target gladiator. Wow. And I see this one being the kind of one that my buddy Adam just breaks my face in because he finds some way to have his people attack there. Because I think you can attack your own people, if I recall correctly. I might be thinking of a different game, but I remember very specifically in a game recently that being a thing that was abused. All right, but I guess it's like, I guess he's like prodding him, like, you can do better. And he's like, if you don't do better, I'm going to kick the poop out of you. So it's like, all right, well, I don't want to get beat up by this guy. So it's like, I don't know. I was trying to think of how thematically it would work, and I don't know enough about the gladiator battles. Deal 1 unpreventable damage to Attilas to deal 1 damage to a target gladiator. Oh, so you can attack. But then you can also, tactic as well. Interesting. Deal 1 unpreventable damage to Attilas to deal 2 damage to a target gladiator. 4 damage and then deal 2, but then you get 5. And I mean, 5 damage. That's big. I can wipe somebody out. Yeah, wow, 5 damage. Yeah, holy moly. Woo! So, those are the champions, and that's what you're going to get inside of the For Glory expansion. So, I know this is really unorthodox style unboxing. I don't typically go too in-depth on my unboxings. Normally, I just smash them against car windows or stuff. But what do you think about this format of the unboxing? Please let me know in the comments below. And I also want to say, part of the reason why I think I was so off my game was because I got so, like, oh my gosh, scared, like, of that I said something that was offensive just when I got to that one gladiator that I couldn't tell if it was a dude or a lass. I don't know why I said word there, a man or woman. And then my brain was like thinking the whole way of like how I had to edit this video in a certain way because I'm going to have to do it. But I think I'm going to leave it all because I don't even know. Like, it's just, maybe you get a little bit of behind the scenes of like how my brain has to work because, you know, at the end of the day, and then I thought, like, I'm second guessing myself on that second part as well, where I mentioned, like, how I really want the hobby to grow because I make money. And then it's like, oh, you don't actually support these people. You just want to make money. And it's like, no, it's both. There's 2 yeses. Like, they're both yes. Like, if you come to my game night, you will see that I'm, yeah, I don't, anyhow. Yeah, but that's behind the scenes. I think I'm going to leave everything in. But I want you to know that, yeah, I want everybody in our hobby. And I want everybody to feel welcome and invited in our hobby. And yeah, there you go. Bye-bye.